Lions fans, I'm going to talk to you today the same way I'd talk standing with you in the Ford Field parking lot in the cold, with a coffee in one hand and the schedule in the other. Something serious is on the table, something that fits exactly what we've been begging for, and it's not some fantasy name thrown on a thumbnail just to steal your time. This is Lions News Fan Report. I'm here with you one-on-one, like always, to bring you real information, smart speculation, and honest breakdowns about our Detroit Lions. And tonight I'm walking you through why the front office is quietly lining up for one specific move that could turn our pass rush from dangerous to relentless without wrecking the future. I'm not handing you a fake blockbuster. I'm laying out why the timing of the trade deadline, the way our roster is built, and the situation of one key defender in Las Vegas are all pointing toward the same idea. And if you stay with me until the end, this whole picture is going to make a lot of sense for you as a Lions fan who actually watches the games, remembers the scars, and feels that it's finally time to close big games on our terms. First, let me be real about where this team is. We're past the cute underdog phase. This is a group with a real window, a real identity, a real standard. The offense is established. The line is legit. The staff knows who they are. The locker room believes. The defense is taking real steps forward. The mentality is different. The tackling is cleaner. The communication is sharper. But when you strip away the hype and zoom in on January football, one thing keeps screaming off the screen. You either hit elite quarterbacks with 4, or you start packing lockers early. And right now, too often, offenses can sell out on 97 and live with the rest. Hutchinson wins, he fights, he's the tone setter, but he cannot be the only consistent problem up front. You can blitz, you can spin coverages, you can get creative, but sooner or later, you need another dude who beats a tackle on 3rd and 8 when everybody in the stadium knows what's coming. That's the missing piece, and you can feel the front office circling that reality. Look at how this regime operates. They don't chase washed names, they don't panic, they wait for the right mix of age, hunger, tape, and contract. They want players who live through contact, who finish plays, who don't disappear when it gets ugly, who fit the culture Dan Campbell hammers every single day. So when you scan the league for realistic edge help at this stage, the list is a lot shorter than social media wants you to believe. You're looking for a guy who has already produced at a high level, who's not at the end of the road, who understands playing opposite a star, who has the motor to match this city, and who sits in a contract situation that at least gives another team a reason to pick up the phone. That's where the Raiders slide into this conversation. Vegas is in another reset. New vision, heavy commitment to Max Crosby, questions in other spots, pressure to rebalance the roster and decide who is truly part of the next core. Whenever that happens, every productive edge rusher behind the face of the franchise becomes a dual asset, important on Sundays, valuable if the right offer hits the table. If you're Detroit and you're serious about this window, you pay attention. You study who actually put real, sustainable disruption on tape. First step juice, bend around the corner, speed to power, counters, effort from the backside, discipline against the run. One of those guys checked every one of those boxes, broke out playing next to Crosby, stacked impact performances that put him on every advanced metric radar, then went through the mental and physical test of an injury, fought his way back, and earned a 1-year extension that respects his impact but doesn't lock his team into a long marriage. That is exactly the type of situation aggressive contenders keep circled. Now flip it to our side. Picture Hutchinson as the focal point he already is, taking chips, slides, tight end help, backs leaking late, all of it. Then picture dropping on the opposite side a true edge threat who has already proven he can win when protection shifts away from him, who isn't a situational-only body, who can hold up on early downs and then turn loose on long yardage. All of a sudden, offensive coordinators don't get to say, "We'll handle Hutch and live with whatever else happens." Now they're choosing which edge they're comfortable losing to, and that is exactly how you ruin game plans when it matters. We're talking about a player who understands how to rush from wide alignments, who can flatten to the quarterback, who can run line games with our interior, who can anchor enough for the run that you don't have to take him off the field, and who plays with the kind of engine this fan base respects. That's not marketing talk. That's football fit. And when you connect all those dots, there's one name that keeps coming back, and this is where the discussion gets real. Malcolm Koonce. Here's why that's not a random YouTube name drop. Koonce came into the league as a traits guy and turned those traits into results. In 2023, he finally got the snaps and answered with real disruption. Strong sack totals and tape that showed a complete pass rusher. Quick off the ball, strong enough to convert, using his hands with purpose, finishing plays, and thriving in key spots next to Crosby. He showed he's not just benefiting from attention on the other side. He can win his own matchups. The knee injury and lost time after that would have buried a lot of players. Instead, he fights back, works his way into the plan again, and lands that one-year extension in Vegas. Good money, short horizon, exactly the sort of setup that keeps contender front offices alert. For Detroit, this is where it clicks. You're not paying for a fading star, you're not buying a jersey stunt, you're targeting a pass rusher right in his prime arc, with proven production, with experience playing opposite a star, with the kind of hungry physical style that fits everything this staff keeps preaching. You add Koonce into a front with Hutchinson, and your third down menu opens up. You can put him on the edges, kick one inside in certain looks, overload aside, force protections to declare early, turn those half seconds of hesitation into hits, sacks, bad throws. That's what wins in January. Inside the locker room, it sends the right message. The organization believes in this core enough to double down on a strength instead of hoping things magically click. From Vegas's point of view, there's a real conversation too. With Crosby locked in as the face with a one-year commitment to Koonce, if their season doesn't track the way they need, flipping an ascending edge on that timeline for real draft capital is not crazy business. It's standard roster management. That's why this idea quietly lives in the world of serious discussions, not just fan fiction threads. You don't give them away, but you listen if a team like Detroit comes with a serious but sane offer. A mid-round pick that can escalate based on snaps or sacks, maybe some creative structure that protects both sides. For the Lions, it only makes sense if medicals, character, and tape all lined up. And that's the exact checklist this front office has earned the right to be trusted with. Here's the important line, and I want this crystal clear. As of right now, there is no official trade, no announcement, no Malcolm Koonce's a Lion graphic. What exists is one of the most logical, football-sound scenarios on the board for a team in our position. A contender with a real shot lining up with a franchise that might need flexibility, centered around a player who looks like everything we've been asking for off that opposite edge. My job here isn't to sell you a lie, it's to walk you through the kind of move that actually changes this defense from interesting to terrifying. So now it's your turn before I close this out. If the price is reasonable, are you in on the idea of the Lions going after Malcolm Koonce to ride with Hutchinson and turn this pass rush into a two-headed problem? Or would you rather keep every pick and wait for the draft or a cheaper flyer? Drop your thoughts down below, tell me kind of trade package you'd live with, who you absolutely would not move, and whether this kind of calculated aggression matches the identity you want for this team right now. I'm reading you, because this channel lives on real fans who understand where this franchise is headed. And if you want to keep getting this level of honest, detailed, fan-driven analysis in real time as the rumors heat up, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report. Hit the notifications and share this video with that friend who keeps saying, one more pass rusher and it's over for the NFC. I'll keep bringing you every credible angle, every smart scenario, and if Malcolm Koonce does become the next piece in Detroit, you'll already know exactly why it happened and what it means for our shot at bringing something special back to this city.